You're welcome back from a short technical break. I believe we can see what I'm showing us on our screen, please. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So back to where we were before the temporary break. In 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, we read, "For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth." And I explained to us what this means. It means that none of us, as well as every one of us, can do nothing against the truth. But everything we've done, everything we are doing right now, everything we are going to do is going to be for the truth. And I went on further to explain to us the reason why this is so. I said this is so because of this chart you are seeing on your screen, which shows the 5 entities that are at play in every area of our life at every time t. Now, of all these 5 entities, the entity of fatherhood, motherhood, male, seed, and female, the most important is the middle entity, the male entity. One, because it's in the middle, so it has the privilege and design of carrying the 2 before and 2 after, as well as depending on your situations in life, the 2 entities that are greater and lesser. But more importantly, by design, these entities are starters. And like I've showed us and told us times and times over, what every one of us has been in, what we are in right now, and what every one of us is going to be in are all determined by this middle entity. What did I just say, people of God, now? The last sentence.
What I've been in, what I'm in, and what I'm going to be.
And what has
All
been
determined.
is all determined by the middle entity, which is the male entity.
Exactly. It's not determined by the fatherhood, which can be the least or the greatest entity, as well as the female entity, the result entity. That's the truth. Where all of us have been, where we are now, where we'll be, is determined by the male entity. But more importantly, the result we're going to get, the result we're getting right now, the result we've gotten in our lives is also determined by this male entity. Now, these male entities, 3 qualities, makes them the most important of these 5. Now, when you're not talking about male entity, it is the truth that is the most powerful. That means that the result you are going to get, the result you are getting right now, the result you have gotten, as well as your status now, your status yesterday, your status tomorrow, they are all going to bow to the truth. Laws, principles that are designed by nature, by our maker, to make that area of life worth living. That's why truth is the most powerful, most important entity in life. And that's why none of us can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. I hope we are good on the Reason why truth is number one, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And that's why if
Yes,
you
sir.
come to the book of Prophet Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, which you are seeing on your screen, there's no knowledge of anything again that the Spirit of God could be speaking through Prophet Hosea about in this passage other than the truth. And that's why we see it there, where it says, we God's people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Even though it is a knowledge of what, but it's only truth that has this potential. That if you lack the knowledge of it, it's not because people wish you destroyed. It's lack of knowledge or rejection of knowledge of the truth. And that's why if you go to John's Gospel chapter 8 verse 32, you see there where Christ said that any time in any area of your life you discover this truth will set you free. I hope you're getting it, people of God now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now today we have an update which is like a study and application of the truth. And these updates, there are two, but you see they are together. What did I say? Even though they are two, but they are what?
Together.
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 And the reason why they are together is this. Our Heavenly Father, His status as entity is fatherhood. That's why when you go to the ant, the example of blue ants, and you see the first example of beings there, you see our Heavenly Father is number one, the Godhead. And within the Godhead, it still retains the fatherhood. And the nature of the term entity, fatherhood is male and female. That's why you see our Father is beginning and ending. Beginning is male entity, the middle finger. Ending is the little finger, female entity. It's beginning and ending, author and finisher, Alpha and Omega. And when you go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, it says there that, and God said, let us make mankind, adult humans, humanity, in our image and after our likeness. And the primary nature of God is this male and female. And if you go to verse 27, where the product name Adam was being used, no more Adam, the architectural plan, but Adam. Even though the English Bible still keep on using the word man, Adam interchangeably, but the Hebrew word had changed. After Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, Adam was not used for us again. It was Adam, which is like the practical product, the manufactured product. And in verse 27, where Adam started, he said, and God created Adam in his own image, male and female. People erroneously think it means man and woman. No, it's male and female. That is why, whether you're a man or woman, as an adult human being, you're male and female like our Father. So today, I'm showing us things in life, entities in life, forces in life, with their relative influence over one another. And why I'm bringing this up is for you to know that this chart you are seeing on your left is what is under your control as an adult human. What did I say about this chart on the left of your screen?
Control as an adult human.
As adult human.
Whatever this is, you determine. Nobody can, even God cannot determine for you. It's your responsibility. Whatever these entities are in your life, you make them happen. But because our God is male and female, we two are like that. This right, in fact, more interesting in the sense that you don't determine it, but you can't live without them. It's in our lives. And that's why a lot of us, we are destroyed because we don't know this part. And that's why religion is fraud, like I keep on telling you, no matter the religion. In fact, the reason why atheism or people they call free thinker tend to do better than religious people is this. Should I tell you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Religion takes a part of those ones on your right. Religion denies the existence of this chart on your left. No matter the religion, bring it up. Christian religion, Islamic, all religion denies this left. But take a part, not all, not even the most powerful and most important of it, which is the highest. But they take a part of it. The one that suits them, suit the religion. With the fact that you can't control it. But they just suit it. But I'm here to tell you, if you are not going to waste this opportunity, you are not going to waste your life in the process, you are not going to waste your time. These two charts are valid. But the one on the left first, because that is the one you determine. Your eternal home, whether upstairs or downstairs, whether right or wrong, positive or negative, is determined by this one on your left. But your victory, your breakthrough here on earth is both charts with this their relative influence over one another. That is important, that is relevant, and it is working in our lives. How about talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, look at the one you determine. I think that just 11 in number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But look at the ones you don't determine, but you are subjected to them in this world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Interestingly, two prime numbers with the number of government before God, 12 being in between them. So let's start. Like I said, these two are together. Okay?
Okay, sir.
But we're going to start at the least. The reason why I'm always starting at the least is a spiritual reason. It's not as if it's my own method. The law of faithfulness says if you are faithful in little, it's when you can be faithful in much. So the things you determine, the lowest of it, if you cannot own it, you cannot own the highest. And let's look at the lowest of the left chart. What is the lowest of the, look at the title. Adam, that is practical adult humans, male part. And in bracket, what is your responsibility and obligations? What you must own. What nobody can do for you. It's an illusion that somebody else is determining it. Okay?
Okay, sir.
It's an illusion that you don't determine these things, these 11 things. So let's start with the lowest. What is the lowest?
Adult choices.
Now, because of space, the full word is adults' free will choices. Because some of you will think the choices you make as a slave, that's not what I'm talking about. Even if you're a slave, what counts here is your free will to be somebody else's slave. Okay? But the choices you now make, because you are making it due to pressure from somebody, doesn't count. What counts is your choice to be a free will slave. So I hope in your own study you understand this means adults' free will choices.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are we good, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the number of hierarchy that I give it?
2.
2.
Now, you will see the importance of that number now. Let's go to the right. Look at the title of the chart on your right. It is Adam's female part. That is, every one of us, practical adult human, we also have a female part, which we don't determine, but we live with. We are subjected to. And see what I call them: assets and what? Privileges. Let me tell you this. If you like, you don't need to believe me. This is truth. Acceptance doesn't invalidate or validate truth. See, all the 13 things you have here are things you cannot do anything against. And you'll be subjected to the force they bring. You can't determine it. Is this 11 on the left your own? So whatever goes wrong with this 11 is your fault. But no matter what you want for this 13, you can't make it happen. And there's nothing like coincidence. So it happened because people that make it happen, not because you wished it. And it's not coincidence. What we call coincidence are things we cannot determine, but it happens. That's a coincidence. It's not coincidence. Somebody or something else made it happen apart from you. That is this 13. Now, what is the lowest?
Other adult choices.
Adult choices.
Now, I like what I did because of space for the one on the left. It's actually other adults' free will choices. Now, what is the prime number I gave that?
3.
3.
I pray you, God's flock, you God say, get this. But your life will not be the same again. In fact, people will ask you that, what's your secret? And it's because it's as simple as you know your level. Now, between 3 and 2, which one is greater?
3.
3.
That is the reason why when you are in relationship with people, especially people that have a greater grace than you, what they bring into your life is greater than what you bring into your own life. That's why God never said, it's not scriptural that you compromise. The only way you can win any battle against somebody that have issues with you is to come out. God never says stay in a situation, in a relationship that the other party is at variance with you. God says, come out, and what will I do? And I will receive you, saith the Lord. This is the reason you are seeing people of God. Other adult free will choices are greater than your own free will choices. That is it. That is it. Even when you're a woman that has a greater grace and in a marriage with a man that you are not his wife figure, the reason why you are wasting your grace, wasting your life, is that because his faith not being you, being greater, do you see it? Than your own faith in him, the grace you have as a queen or not is going to waste. It can't benefit him and it cannot benefit your children. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
Because he being the other adult, his free will choices is greater in influence than your own free will choice, which is that you want him. Even though you carry a greater grace. Spiritually, it's like that too. You, God's flock, carry a greater grace than we, your pastors. No matter how much I want any of you, God's flock, to be the best, I can't make it happen.
That's true.
In fact, that one is even worse than in marriage. The reason is this: because the flock carries a greater grace, then you are another adult. Your choice, free will choice, if don't follow me as your pastor, is higher than me wanting you to be blessed with this truth. So it can't work. The reverse is also the same. If you a man, no matter how much a woman is your wife figure, because for you to want a woman as your wife figure, you definitely, whether right or wrong, believe she's a queen, even though she might not be a queen. But you see, her free will choices is what will make her a queen or not, and that is what will hold sway in your life. That's why if you bring madness to you, listen to me, brothers. As long as she's your wife figure, you will not mad. That is it. That you can't escape it. Because she, as an adult, her free will choices is greater than your own free will choice. That's why there are men today, unless they divorce that woman in their emotions from being their wife figure, that's how they will die poor. Because the woman is a woman that sees them down. You can't rise. I hope these truths.
Yes, sir.
Because once you can get this first level, every other one will make sense. But you see, because 2 Corinthians 13 verse 8, okay, says, none of us can do anything against the truth. And the truth about adulthood is that you grew up to be an adult, to be a guru, to be a personality, to be image and logo. And how do you do that? By using your sound mind. Now, using your sound mind is your responsibility. It doesn't come by somebody praying for you or you praying. It must be you that must learn to ask that question. Now, look at adult guruship. What prime number does he have?
5.
5.
Five.
And it's under the left, which is your responsibility. Between 3 and 5, which is greater?
5.
5 is
Five.
greater.
Five.
That is
Five.
why when you use your brain, even if you're a pastor like me and a male, and you have God's flock who is a woman, and she's not, you are not a pastor, you common sense will tell you that you are going to destroy your ministry if you keep on pastoring such a woman. If you have anything with such a woman, she's going to destroy you. Because her free will choice is greater than yours. 1. 2, the grace of, in fact, you are dead 3 ways. She's the other adult. Are you seeing it? She's a woman, you're a man. She's a flock, you're a pastor. So 3 ways, she's already beat you to it. So what sound mind will do, tell you, disconnect from her. Don't have anything to do with her. If there will be anything from you with her, it's the thing from you, not you in person. Don't have anything to do with her. That's what makes her not good. Let me use the other spiritual relationship. If you're a flock, even though the grace of a flock is greater than the minister you are following as your pastor, but you see, you cannot determine that it's a faithful minister, that is a truth teller. So for that, even though your grace is higher, once is an unfaithful minister, the demons is commanding comes under other adults' choices, free will choices, which is greater than your own, even though you have a greater grace than her, than him or her. Am I following?
Yes, sir.
Especially if she's now a woman. You the flock, you're a man. You are dead in 2 ways. Being the other adult choice and being a woman. And that has eroded the fact that even though you are a flock that carry a higher grace. So the only way out, become a guru. And if you are a guru, your common sense will tell you that it doesn't make sense following this woman or this man who is not a truth teller. who doesn't set example for me. Are you beginning to see how it works now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How we are beginning
Yes,
to
sir.
see the interplay. In fact, if you have never print out, okay, any of you today, print this one out. Have it in front of you, carry it with you everywhere. You don't have a printer, you have friends, you have business that go there, print it out. Because you lose information when you don't store it after a while. That's why God told people like Moses to write whatever is telling them down. So this will help you. This will answer all the questions you have been asking in your life. And whatever you are facing today, the solution is within these two charts. Let's do the next level. Of course, all these forces, okay, are from the influences in our lives as adults. All of us have that influences. Of course, the tongue, because it's greener. Maybe let me just show you that so that for some of you have this, I call it anointing or assumption. It's not anointing, but God is a sound-minded God. I just think I come up with these things and see the influences. Every adult human, now that's where this one, the next level is starting from, okay?
Yes, sir.
The first one we do about adulthood, that one is the hand itself, okay? Now, the list of your influence are your friends. Once you're an adult human being, no matter how much, even no matter how foolish you are, or adult that is money that is your friend, there will be human beings that has money and make you to connect. You have friend figure. Then you all have a mentor figure, somebody that shares your spec. It's the way we are made. We can't say no to these influences. If you're a man, there's a man like you are following his footsteps. If you're a woman, there's a woman like you are following. If you are saved, there's a saved adult you are following. Is your influence. If you're a flock, there's a flock you are following. Is your influence. If you're a pastor, there's a pastor you are following. Is your influence. That is as mentor. Then, for this influence, this is why I normally say it's easier for you sisters to make heaven. You have put body that God didn't send you. Did you see husband here? Did you see spouse here?
No, sir.
See, in influence, all of you sisters, you can't change it. Let me tell you what sisters you are doing. All of you, once you are stupid, once you believe this marital lie, what you did, you went for plastic surgery in your imagination and you manufactured an imaginary middle finger. When it comes to influence, no woman has a middle finger. No man can influence you. It's your idiocy, your foolishness that gives you that warped, doesn't exist feeling that man is influencing you. And you will see, once you understand this principle, you will actually see that man you call husband, you're actually seeing him, okay, as either a friend or a mentor or a pastor or God figure, but not a husband figure. Husband is not an influence. It's being a wife that is an influence. And for you men, continue riding on the stupidity of the woman. When your life is destroyed, you know a fellow man like you told you. Who would have told you a lie? And you feel like jealous. After you wait your life, you will see. Because all of us live forever. Whether in this body or outside this body, we are all going to live forever. And guess what? You are going with your memory. You will remember this sermon that I told you as a man. That's why what you call your wife, and that's why you pay for it. You cannot keep another adult image and glory of God under chain. Don't you know that you are cursed? If a woman is not comfortable just because of you, if a woman cannot pick a call, cannot go out because of you, you are dead. You don't just know it. You have been sent. It's your day of execution that they are waiting. Your death row impede another door, something that our maker dare not do. You, another product with a lower grace, now wants to do it in the name of one tradition. Don't worry. The people have heard of you say, where are they today? That's how you two will go. That is it. Because a woman is foolish does not give you men the excuse to be nasty. You should rend your cloth. You should tell them you are free. Encourage them. Call your friend, go out. I'm not comfortable the way you are sitting down at home. Make your own money. Because, and the reason why again you men will suffer for this. Once you are an adult man, male, there is a woman figure in your life, which are many of you live in self-belief. You think it's the so-called prisoner that you call while you are deceiving. It's yourself. Because you yourself, you know the truth. It might not be a family member, but there's a woman. You never, if somebody tries to ask her of a woman, you fight the person, either physically or your emotions. There's a woman you value. There's a woman that you are afraid she must not be crossed with you. That's your wife. So I hope we now understand where this, after being a guru, all the other influences are coming from.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get back to the two charts update today. Powerful. Like I said, for your own sake, print these things out. Meditate on them, study them until it becomes part and parcel of you. So that instinctively, once you recognize something and you will see that, wow, this thing is above me, know where it's coming from. So the next after guruship is adult's friend figure. Can you see that? Number 3,
Yes, sir.
from what is your
Yes.
responsibility? But what prime number did I give that?
7.
Beautiful. You will now see where the concept of frenemy comes from. Now, where people normally say friendly are more dangerous than enemy, you see where it's coming from. Look at the other chart. The second from the other chart, from the lowest. What is that? Other adults friend figure.
Friend.
Now, what is the prime number other adults friend figure have?
11.
11.
Your own friend figure,
It has
7.
7. Between 7 and 11, which one is greater?
11.
Do you see that?
11.
The friend of your friends are greater than your friend. That's why your friend can kill you. Because of the influence of their own friend. Is greater than their own influence. But they are your friend. It doesn't mean you are their friend. That is why, once you have that kind of problem in your relationship with any friend, see the solution. Look at number 4 from on the left chart. Number 4, the 4th from below.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Adult friendship members.
What that means is an adult that's a true friend. An adult that wants the best for you. And what is the prime number of that one?
13.
13. Between 13 and 11, which is other adults' friends figure, which one is greater?
13.
13 is greater.
13.
That is why, when you're in that kind of situation, it's a true friend that can deliver you. Even though that person might not be your friend, but it's someone that will tell you the truth, someone that wants better, that can set you free. Do you see why the scripture says before you have faith in people, make sure they have faith in you? That's where the concept of friendly comes from. They're actually nothing like friendly. You either love somebody, you don't love the person. What normally happens is that the person that is your friend figure, okay, you are not that person's friend, it's other people who doesn't value your interest, that is their own friend, and that's why they will betray you. That's why they will poison you. That's why they will stab you at the back. Because other adults' friend figure is greater than your own friend figure. But the victory over that, immediate victory over that, is a true friend. Am I with you? Are we making progress?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And of course, getting a triplet takes sound mind. That's why I started with being an adult. And the solution that will cure anything adultship is when you're a guru, when you have become a master. English is too much chauvinistic. But actually, they say you become a master. Why can't they say you become a mistress? Wicked people. Let me do the right thing. When you become a mistress of using your sound mind. I hope I'm talking to somebody today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me do this. I'm not comfortable with the viewership on social media. I'll move my seat so just turn this one first. I hope we're still together, people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
So moving on with this truth. The social media backup.
Yes, it's not.
The highest limited that's from us, but it's backup.
Yes, sir.
Now, next to that, it now begins to get more interesting. On the left chart, the chart of what we are responsible and what is our obligations in life. After a real friend, somebody that wants the best for you, somebody that tells you the truth, what is the next higher responsibility all of us have?
Adult mentorship.
Adult mentorship. That is who you, what's the word? Who you follow as your mentor. Of course, these are free will choices. If you are following somebody because the person is saying the truth, that person is not your mentor. Your mentor, whatever the person does, good or bad, you are going to do it. If you have to edit what that person does before doing, that person is not your mentor. That's why mentors are people that shares your grace. Another thing, masculine word. Why not mentress? Why must it be mentor, masculine word? For example, if you're a man, it's a man that will be your mentor, that can be your mentor. If you choose a woman to be your mentor, it's another thing. You are looking for a wife now. It's not your mentor. Then if you're a woman following a man as your mentor, that man, if you are saved, is your pastor. And if you are not saved, that is your God. So it must be somebody that shares your grace. If the person is not saved, but you are saved, that's the person that will take you to hell. It has to be somebody that is saved like you, a brother or a sister, a pastor or a flock that you will follow as your mentor. And see the prime number. What is the prime number of who you choose or follow as your mentor, please?
19.
19.
19.
Now, you know what that means? That means that many of our problems would have been solved. Even if you have had friendship problem, upbringing problem, family problem, if you have chosen the right mentor. See how powerful it is. But that's not your ultimate. Now, interestingly, let's go to the other chart on the right. Now, relative to mentorship, you see two levels here. A level that is higher than the influence of who you follow as your mentor, and one that is lower. And look at it. Who you follow as your mentor, okay, carries more weight in your life than other adults who follow the same person as mentor. You see your mentors, other mentees. That's what it means. Is that same person you are following as your mentor, they too follow. Are you seeing it? But it's here on the right because you can't determine that. You can't determine who will follow your mentor as mentor to. They might not be your friend, but it's still their choice. Because they might likely be your friend because they will share grace with you for them to have the same mentor as you. But it's still their choice. Your mentor's influence is greater than these people's influence in your life. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if such people are giving you problem, go and check whether that person is really your mentor or their mentor. Because if that person that's your mentor is also their mentor, it's his influence that will outweigh, not their influence in your life. So it's one of the two. If you're having problem with other people that are following your mentor, it's either that person is not your mentor or that person is not their mentor. Look at the next higher one on the right. Next higher after your mentors or other mentees. Mentees are people that follow a mentor. You are a mentee. What is the next higher force?
Other adults mentorship.
Other
Other adults
mentorship.
That is what other adults have as their mentor. You now see that might be the problem. Because you thought your mentor is their mentor. But if your mentor is not their mentor, the influence of their own mentor is greater than the influence of your mentor. That's why the scriptures preaches sanctification and holiness a lot. Watching your company. You see that most of the time, other adults' choice is greater than your own. Am I talking to somebody here?
Yes,
Yes, you can.
Let's move on again. I want us to really be a guru in this subject today. And I believe this truth is going to set many of us free. Now, whether is your own mentor or whether it's other adults' mentor. Okay? Look at on side of responsibility. What is the next higher influence under what you are responsible for after who an adult as or follows as mentor?
Mentors truthfulness.
Mentors truthfulness. That is, you are a good mentor, you're a genuine mentor, you're a person of truth. Is the right example your mentees are seeing inside you. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. I hope we are beginning to get it now.
Yes, sir.
So let's move on
Yes.
to the word that many of you believe you came here to do. But many of you have been so damn you believe you came here to marry. Shame on you. It's actually something, especially sister, you should find shameful to say. There's no honor in it. Go and read your scriptures. I showed you Hebrews 13 last week, didn't I? And the people, the scripture says God will judge. Were they men or women?
They were men.
They were men. Because adulterers are men. Whoremongers are men. So why would God judge people who are not responsible for something? It's because they are the one that is responsible for it. But sisters, nobody sent you. You send yourself on suicide mission. Any of you that will waste your life in the name of marriage is a suicide. It's not something for you. Because you are the umbrella doesn't mean that you are the one that needs the umbrella. No man can change a woman. It's the ignorance, the delusion, the lies woman has believed that change them, not the man. Do you know? Some of you know the story, but I expect everybody to know. Do you know one of the first class king in Nigeria? The first class at the top tier, no monarch is higher than them. From the southwest. Do you know the first wife popular who is even supposed to be a prophetess? Left him and divorced. Even though afterwards, we had up close to 7 or 8 that some of them are even testifying that that's been their prayer. But this other woman, people said she will die. She's doing well. In fact, you need to see her now. She's even more beautiful. Keep on telling you this truth. If a man ever pays you as a woman, go and check it. It must be because you are not saved, that man is saved. Or if both of you are saved, he's a faithful minister. And if it's not that, it must be is in Jerusalem. But that a man is not in Jerusalem, is not a faithful minister, and is not saved, or both of you are saved, and the place doesn't exist. So let's go there. Yes, that's a question.
Contribution.
Okay, go ahead, please.
A female mentor is called a femtor.
A femtor, beautiful, okay. Why femtor? Why did they call the men not femtor? Why did they call? Why did they say womentor? Why femtor? Maybe they should start calling the men no maletor. Maybe their brain will even select well. Okay, let's appreciate that contribution. I think next service I will edit this to give it to the men instead of method we call it maletor or imtor. Nto, yes, nto. Because they didn't say the woman's own is female to. They say femto. So it's only the hem we will take from the men or male. So it's nto. Nto. Mhm. So on the level of responsibility and obligations that we all have, after the nto, faithfulness, what is the next in your responsibility?
Men's wives figures. Men's wives figures.
Again,
Men's wives figures.
now first of all, did you see here men's wives figure?
No, sir.
No, sir. No.
Then did you see man's wife figures?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
And the one, sisters, that don't know where you got it from. Did you see woman's husband figure?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
You know why you don't see it here? I didn't forget. It doesn't exist. Show me in the scripture where there's anybody called a woman's husband. It doesn't exist. It's a notion just used to describe those who have taken a particular woman as a wife. But it's not an entity on its own. There's nothing you are bringing to the table, brothers, by marrying a woman. She is the one that brings everything to the table. Go and read your scripture. Apostle Paul didn't marry. Says when a man takes care of his wife, he's taking care of himself. You don't have anything to give a woman. Sisters, wake up. How many of you have watched the video as you are giving midweek service?
Yes, sir.
I know some of you sisters will not watch it because you know the end point. Because you know that you are being used if you still warm up to a man after that video. This is a video that has nothing to do with the scriptures. And I've told you, anything that doesn't go with nature can never be the truth. That is nature for you. See the end of that video. It concluded that medically, genetically, naturally, a woman does not need a man, even for pleasure. Not to talk of offspring. A woman can multiply without a man. A woman can have pleasure without a man, but a man can't. One religion, one tradition, one culture is not telling you otherwise, and you believe and you say you have not been used, sisters. You're the one that used yourself. Somebody say, why didn't Christ marry? If men, did Christ come as a mere man? Did you read your 1 Corinthians chapter 2? That God uses the things that are base, things that are empty, to be able to comfort things that are complete. Why Christ came as a man? Because nothing for a man. Don't wait. See, let me tell you this, sisters. Don't believe me. That man is still dead. Your embracing him is not what will wake him up. He's still a dead body. The only difference is that if you fulfill your life, it is minus one person that's going to die, which is you. In fact, that's the only way you can save the soul. When you get up from your feet and you fulfill your purpose. If at all, say, he won't waste his life. That's the only way. Not by you conforming. Because life is about lost people. So you see what you have here. Nothing like a woman's husband. Okay?
Okay, sir.
What you have is men, plural. Wife, singular. Not man, singular. Wives, plural. No. Because it's against nature. What you have in nature, plural male, singular female. It's against nature. That is the reason why, listen to me, sisters. If you are saved and more than one of you is gravitating to a man, that man is your pastor. He doesn't have to be called your pastor, because it is more than one male entity that can gravitate in nature to a female entity. And the pastoral relationship is feminine. That's why it's frogs that gravitate, pastor, or your God figure. Or God figure is a feminine thing. That is it. And that is why his word over your life, his cause over your life will come to pass. Because it's not a husband. He's a God or a pastor. You have. That's why such women, they can't connect with a faithful minister. Because you can't have two pastoral figures. They can't connect with the truth. Because they already have a God in their life. You can't have two gods. You can't have two pastoral figures. Just like men cannot have two wives. It's impossible. It doesn't exist. What you have is two idiots. What you have is two Christmas chicken in your cage. What you have is two Salah ram. That's what you have. So let's now move on in that world of marriage. Don't forget, what is the prime number for men's wife figure?
37.
7.
And I hope you know what that means. That means that more than one man can have the same woman as their wife figure. But you, sister, you have been so damaged. If that happens, you go and drink cyanide. That it shows that you are an adulteress. When did God ever say that? It's your foolishness and ignorance that said that. And your bad upbringing. Your mother is damaged. You grew up, instead of you to be a guru as an adult, to see that, oh, how my mama lived doesn't make sense. You continued. How we are seeing that?
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, there's nothing like man's wives. What you have is men's wife. You see how the world is really upside down. We have come to accept seeing a man with more than one woman. But if you see more than one man gravitate towards a single, what would they call the woman? Ashawo. Are you seeing it now? Are you seeing the real Ashawo today now? The real Ashawo is any man that more than one woman is gravitating towards, unless it's their God or pastoral figure. That's it. But man, wife, husband, wife, friendship, it doesn't exist. So let's go to the side of assets and privileges. And you see, just like what we saw with mentorship, okay? You see two levels again. A level lower than men's wives figure, and a level what? Higher. Look at the level lower. Because you can't control other men's choices. Are you seeing it? That's why it's possible your wife figure, okay, has other husbands, has other men that see her as a wife figure. The only thing is that who you follow as your wife The influence in your life is greater than them. That's why your business is to focus on who is your wife figure, not other people who are interested in her. This is what I want to say. That even the commercial sex workers, they are more of a wife for many men. And you that you think you're a wife, you are just a slave. You are just a chicken inside cage. Because these men, they know other men are having sexual fellowship with this woman, but they don't mind. Because that is their wife figure. Don't let anybody deceive you. Every bona fide adult have this in them. Whoever that is their wife figure, even if she's married, it doesn't change them. If they see that, it doesn't change them. Because that is how men are made. That's how men are made. It's because women have been damaged that men are riding on falsehood. But you see, the way your wife's other husbands, that is other men that see her as wife, no matter how many they are, their influence in your life is lower than whoever is your wife figure. Are you seeing it? 37 to 31. How everybody is saying that?
Yes, sir.
So, yes.
No worry, I'm expecting this. In fact, when I was praying this service, I told Big Mama, I said today might be another John chapter 6:66. I'm going to read John chapter 6, verse. He said, many of the people following Christ walk no more with him. But we have been told to expect it. This is my own purpose. It's the only purpose that you might not get appraisal or not. Every other purpose, there's appraisal with it, but not as a faithful minister. So me, I'm already, my praises is up. For the example, I told Big Mama, I said, I hope I won't become Noah today after this message. I hope we're still good.
Yes, sir.
So, higher than 37, which is men's wives figures, on the right chart of asset and privilege, things in your life that you are subjected but you can't control. What is the next influence higher after your wife's other husband?
Other men's wife.
You now understand the 10 commandments now. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. That's another thing for you, sister. Did you see the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's husband. You are the one that is committing suicide. What you don't have the grace, you are going. You're going to waste your life. It's not your call. It's a man's call. It's not your call. And let me tell you the language of the scripture, especially Old Testament. When God tells you don't do something, it's for your own good. But religion damages people's brain to take loss into your own hands. What you see in the scripture, the wages of sin is death. Did he say wages of sin is murder? They will not say because God says wages of sin is death. Moses and Co now promulgated their law. As if you do this, stone to death. If you do this, is that what God said? Meanwhile, God has said, thou shalt not commit murder. That one they now granted it to kill. What is in Exodus 20 is thou shalt not commit murder, not thou shalt not kill. And it's murder. Even if you tie a person down the stake and shot him, it's murder. No matter the thing, once the person is defenseless, the person cannot run. The person cannot shoot back. It is murder. And it's a sin. That's why go and check it. As a sin or not, go and do your research. See how they end. All the destructive leaders in this world, and that's how these pastors are ending. And all these men. Because you are destroying lives. You are murdering lives. Instead of telling God's people the truth. That was a sad news. And I keep on saying, we don't need to get to this point in our nation. Last week, it was still one that killed the husband. Right? Because this one had left that marriage, the parents said, no, go back. The one of last week. And all the crime this guy did was just to approach her for sexual violence, killed him. She told the police, she said he didn't do anything. He's a nice guy, but doesn't want to marry. See, don't wait till you have blood in your hands, sisters. Walk away from this disaster called marriage. You don't see here a woman's husband. It's not your own. It's not something you determine. Yours is to respond as a queen. All these things that you have been told that you put on your own is not in your nature. As if that that will be week before another week. This week's one was so bad. Guess what this woman did?
What's that?
It's not even the husband. Just went. This is a 52-year-old woman. Set her aged parents on fire. Though both are wrong, you don't need to take life. But the circumstances were the same. It's just that the parents got what they deserve. Because they are the one that insists she must not lead that abusive marriage. Why not report them? Well, are they tying you? You are a 52-year-old. Move on now.
Exactly now.
What is it? God that made us says, if your father and mother reject you, even if they put a spell on you, if they are not your God figure, the spell will not affect you. Okay, the spell affects you. Let's even put out and the spell has cleared. Maybe you walk away. Another one. What is this disaster? This one. It was later when some pastors said they were praying. They said they should investigate the husband. This man put a spell on the wife to take her own life, so that it would be as if she's the one that took her life, so they can move on. But you see, that kind of woman too is not submissive. That spell will not work. It's only your pastoral figure, your God figure, your influence that can do something and it will affect you, because your faith in them makes it possible. This chart on the left is about your faith. So I hope we are good with this.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So you see,
Yes, sir.
other men's wives figure have a greater influence than your own wife figure. That's why you see the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not covet somebody else's wife, whether they are a queen or not. If you are interested, divorce your own and make them your wife figure, but not that you will what? Covet it. You cannot reap where you did not sow. You cannot expect to be a beneficiary of angels of a woman that you didn't value, just because you see the blessing, the glory, goodness, and mercy that is following the men that value her. You see why it cannot work. Because other men's wife figure, see their influence, 41. Your own wife figure is what? 37. Between 37 and 41, which one is greater?
41.
Let's move on. After marital grace, okay, there's an omission here. I wonder how that's happened. Okay, in between men's wife's figure, okay, and saints' pastoral figure, a level was omitted. So please note that you get the correction maybe after the service in your updates. Okay?
Okay, sir.
And the omission is adult salvation. It's your responsibility and obligation to get saved. God is not the one that's going to get you saved. It is your free will faith, okay, in the work of Calvary that gets you saved. I hope we got that, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like that one is 43 and the other 47 is an omission. So therefore, I think it's 47. That's the next prime number. Yeah, so it was omitted. So that means responsibility is actually 12, not 11. So in between menstrual figure of 37 and the saved adults pastoral figure of 61, there is level 47, okay, which is adults salvation. It's your responsibility. Please note that, God's people, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Of course, see the corresponding asset and privilege. You don't have power over somebody else is getting saved. You now see it's all this witchcraft that by force somebody must get saved. That you must win a soul for Christ by fire, by thunder. On Saturday evangelism.
Hi.
The other person getting saved is higher than your own. That's why it's an asset. It's a privilege that the other adult that you are relating to is saved like you. And what they bring into your life will work more. That's why the scripture says, if any two shall agree as touching what they will ask, it's a done deal. It might not be done deal with you alone, but when that other saved adult joins you, it's a done deal. Because they are bringing a greater thing. Because 53 is higher than 47. I hope we are good.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
moving
Yes, sir.
on. Of course, God's will is for us to be born again. And you cannot get born again until first you're saved, and secondly, you connect to the truth. And the only way you can connect to the truth is when a faithful minister is your pastor. Okay? That's why you will see after the grace of getting saved, which is what is next higher to being a queen, okay? Which is higher than being a queen. The next higher grace, yeah, is you connecting to the body of Christ, which can only happen when you meet a faithful minister. That is when the grace of being a flock wakes up in you. It's now your choice. Is it that person that's your pastor or not? Okay?
Okay, sir.
But you are never the same. You will follow somebody as your pastor. Once you meet a faithful minister, that grace wakes up, never to shut down again. You are never the same. Just like when you get saved, you have become a new creature. Meet a faithful minister, you have changed. Everything changes. Now, whoever you follow as a saved adult, as your pastoral figure, is your responsibility. It's your obligation. Nobody can do it for you. It's not God's choice. And what is the level?
61.
61. But you see, just like what we had with other followership like mentorship and marriage, look at it. You have a level lower and you have a level higher. You see why I said that scripture, being not unequally you together with, it's not just talking about seed on seed. It's talking about other areas of influences. Because see other saved adults pastoral figure. What is their own influence? 67.
67.
Between 67 and 61.
67.
67. You see why? Even though your father, your mother, your children, adult children, your husband, your wife, your siblings, your friends, you might want me to be their pastor. You might want my prayers to work for them, but it won't work. Because my influence over you as your pastor is lower than my influence or your own influence in their lives. Because their own pastor's influence. You see the reason why Christ told the apostles, the apostles told the fellow ministers coming. Now, once they notice acts proving that a particular flock is not following the path they should back off, is not going to work. Because the influence of whoever they follow, rightly or wrongly, as their pastor outweighs your own. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
The only, when it comes to who you follow as your pastor, okay, the only influence that is higher in your life is the influence of other saved adults who follow your pastor as their pastor. And that's what you see as on the right. Your pastors order God's flock. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
That's the only influence spiritually that is lower than the influence of who you follow as the pastor. But you see, because we cannot do anything against the truth, and faithful ministers are harbingers of the truth. Okay? All these three, your pastors order God's flock, your pastoral figure, and other saints' pastoral figure, they all bow when it comes to a faithful minister. That is why, because a faithful minister is not your pastor, or you turn your back on a faithful minister as your pastor, guess what? You and your pastoral figure, you are going to go down. Because the influence of a faithful minister, 71, is greater than the adult's pastoral figure, 67, which is greater than who you follow as pastor, which is not a faithful minister in this case, as well as that your pastors order God's work. It's just what it is. That's why you see a lot of pastors will be doing that now. Not necessarily what they did, but because of people who follow them as pastor, especially those who turn their back on faithful ministers to follow them, because of this influence. Are we good people of God?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Of course, faithful ministers are not the highest of influence in existence, or even in the adult's life. No. After faithful ministers, which you see as 71, what is the next under what you are responsible for?
Adult
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 Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. Now, what
Adult Jerusalem.
does adult Jerusalem mean? That is Jerusalem of your choice as an adult. You know what that means?
What's
Even as a faithful minister, you will suffer for how you care or you don't care for the best of children that you brought to this world. That's why a lot of parents are going to end up in hell, because they brought children they can't take care of. That's why it's only a child, said God explained that. He didn't say your child, just say a child. So you could have adopted. That bring a child that you are not ready to set the better of example for. That's why children are untouchable. They're not something you can use as a commodity. See Christ, the whole Savior. See what he said when people wanted to stop kids from, what did he say? He said, suffer not. See, from, because what? Theirs is the kingdom. You know what that means? That means you are responsible for truth you have prevented your children from enjoying, and lies you have exposed them to. But you see, even in the world of that, the only difference is this one doesn't have something lower, it's what is higher. If you go to the right, this is what I keep on telling you, that what you do for other children is greater than what you do for your own children. For some of you, you do otherwise. Your soul is already destroyed. you walk by a sick child just because it's not your child. It's even that child you should have, but especially when the child is younger. Because you see other adults Jerusalem is 79, yours is 73. But you see both self are not as high as universal Jerusalem. See, 83. Who are universal Jerusalem? Maybe orphans, abandoned babies. Not somebody else's children. They are responsible for them. If you grow down, that's maybe a witch. That's why you see other adults Jerusalem is higher than your own. They are just wasting your resources. When people are supposed to plan, they refuse to plan. They are following one mother. It's time to have girl. It's time to have boy. Continue. And tell you, sister, that you have committed suicide by believing your responsibility. Show me in the scriptures where God said, you the woman, if you don't take care of the man, take care of the children, you are worse than the. He's talking to men. Now see some men, they will be sharing, okay, you will be in charge of food, I will be in charge of school fees. And you believe that kind of foolishness. So it's Apostle Paul and Peter that didn't know that you can share. That he dumped everything. And let me tell you, if that man sees you as his wife figure, all he need to see is me. That is why under my shepherd there are men I respect. I know why I respect them. No matter comfortable they are, I have men under my shepherdship who will be ready to do transport service, to augment their regular service without stressing their wife, who is also working, just to make sure she's comfortable. And not all those kind of comfortable you say, what about the money I gave you yesterday? They don't ask. All they see is the need and the and every man, sister, let me tell you, every man has that. Because he doesn't have it for you, doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Every man has it. Every adult man has a woman figure. They will starve so that she can. That is just it. You see, when men want to give SK, they will tell you, I wish I had money. Just know your status. You have already gotten the answer to the exam. When a man tell you that, oh, I wish I have money, you know the answer. So I hope we are seeing this with Jerusalem. So universal Jerusalem are like that, okay? Or maybe elderly people, like the scripture says, over 60. Yeah. Sorry. When I had the word over 60, I'm like, your pastor is so qualified. No, please delete that. It just didn't occur to me until I said that. So you know, the teacher said, well, they don't have anybody to employ them, even though they are ready to work. You understand? And family are not the ones that family self is over taking care of them. Or they have where they can work. I hope you understand what I mean by universal Jerusalem. Or because they have challenges, society has just abandoned them and all that. Those are even higher than other adults Jerusalem. Of course, because all of us influence in life as adults, okay, is whatever is our God figure. That's why you see, for every practical adult human, see the highest on that list of the 12 entities. What's the highest? That is your responsibility and obligation.
Adult God.
God figure.
Do you know why? Because if you can get your God figure right, the Jerusalem you choose, as a minister you'll be faithful. As a flock, the pastoral figure you choose, okay, What's happening? That means 13, 13. I just noticed another one is here. It's missing there. Why do we make it? Because why editing it? A woman being a queen. It's your responsibility to be a queen. So that means 13, 13. Perfect. You see that God is a God of balance. 13 that is your responsibility, 13 that is not your responsibility. So a woman being a queen, a man's wife figure, a mentor being truthful, your mentor figure, an adult being a true friend, your friend figure, an adult being a guru, and your choices as adult, free will choices. It will be right once your God figure is right. But because of laws of faithfulness, guess what? As powerful, as high as your God figure, what you are ready to live and die for simultaneously is highest in your life. Guess what? Is still lower in influence than other adults' God figure. Look at it. See your own God figure, it's not 89. What's other adults' God figure here?
97.
97. You see the difference, people of God. Not to now talk of that triple digit prime number you are seeing on the chart on your right. What's the highest of asset and privilege that we don't determine in life as adults? The truth, which is the God's recommended God figure for all of us, is the truth. This is another proof that nothing and no one can do anything against the truth. It's the highest influence. I hope we appreciate today's update.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Please, sir, I didn't get where my being a queen comes in.
I said it, that is between men's wise figure and saints pastoral figure.
Okay, sir.
Before, that's where there is the true on that level that I'm missing. Adult salvation. And so after going up, after men's wise figure is woman's queenship. That is a woman being a queen. Okay?
Okay, sir.
After that of a woman being a queen is now an adult getting saved. Don't worry, like I promised, if not immediately after the service, it will be part of the updates come Wednesday service, okay?
Yes, sir. One more question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Please, sir, is it like if I'm in fellowship with another adult, their God figure becomes mine?
You are the one that can determine your God figure. We are talking about influence here. It's just that their influence of their God figure outweighs yours because you are in fellowship with them.
Yes.
But for their God figure to become yours, that is your choice. That is why the scripture says evil communication corrupts good manners. This is why. Because if their God figure is not the truth, even though your own God figure is the truth, okay,
Yes, sir.
you won't experience full victory you should experience. Because you are in fellowship, you are one with adults whose God figure is not the truth. That's why I use man and his wife, flock and their pastor example today. Once in any of those parts, the other adult is not for you, it will corrupt you. And the solution is for you to come out of that relationship. There's no other solution. Because you can't, if you try to change the person's choice, then you have become a witch. That's witchcraft. So I hope we got that place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So let's move on, of course, to assignments. Of course, what are these assignments? Situations in life, so that we can all become champion of discovering the truth. So that's why we try to ask ourselves these questions. Is this truth? Is this fact? Courtesy? Myth? Foolishness? Witchcraft? Lies? Or outright hate? I hope you can see the first assignment on our screen, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope the brethren on social media can see it.
Yes.
This first one says, it's a quote, it said, your soul, of course, when people use the word soul, most of the time they are referring to their emotions, which is the highest part of us, adult humans. Since your soul will always tell you when it's time to start a new chapter in your life. Trust it. Now, is this truth, fact, courtesy, myth, foolishness, witchcraft, lies, or greed? I will tell you outrightly that this is a fact, but not the truth. Because this is dependent on the kind of soul that you have. If your soul is renewed, if you, from a spiritual mind, from you using your sound mind, which empowers a sound-minded free will choices, then your emotions will be warm towards what is right and truthful. But if it's the other way around, your emotions will be warm towards what is ridiculous. And don't forget, the day we study about the influences, even when you are led of the Holy Spirit, it's that same intensity you feel with your emotions. That's why when people can understand that they can be passionate about your own. Passion comes from emotions. That's why in the parable of the sower, which should have been parable of the ground, or parable of the mind, or parable of the flock, you see people can embrace the right, even bleed for the right, be persecuted for that, but they will still fall away because they allow wrong things to enter their emotions, and these things will choke the truth, the right thing they are doing. So this is a fact based on that, not the truth. I hope you understand why this is a fact, not truth, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The next one, it says, if you tell the truth, it becomes a part of your past. But if you lie, it becomes a part of your future. This is also a fact. There are situations in our life that the truth we tell becomes a part of our future. If not, why will people like me be rewarded in eternity for telling the truth now? Why will God bring such as should be saved, such as will follow me, such as will watch my back? Which is a tomorrow thing, isn't it? Which is a future thing. If not that the truth I'm saying becomes a part of my future. Then on the other side, if you lie, there's some lies that becomes a part of your past because you've turned a new leaf, never to lie again. So this is another fact, not true. There's some instances this can happen to somebody, okay? That the truth will be their past, the lie will become part of their future, but not all the cases. I hope we are a good place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one says, making 100 friends is not a miracle. The miracle is to have one friend who will stand by your side even when hundreds are against you. I will put this underneath, and I will tell you why it's underneath. Because if you look at this from the surface, okay, especially if you are looking at it from angle of emotion or courtesy, you will already think it's the truth. But it's not because somebody stand by you when others are against you that they are a friend. And where are you doing the arithmetic calculation? That you'll be able to know 100 are against you. By the time you stop in your diary 100 friends, you might be going up mentally. You have a corrupt emotions. And there's nothing wrong in having 100 friends. The way 2 are better than 1, 3 are better than 2. So definitely 100 friends, if they are real friends, will be better than 1, don't you think? So I put this under myth, okay? No truth, no lie, okay? It's just part of what sometimes people bring together, and if you don't analyze it very well with your sound mind, you probably embrace it. I hope we're getting this, people of God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is a lot of what is flying across now, end of the year. It says after the war, the Israelites came to Moses and said, we counted and no one is missing. That's census now. Yet if President Buhari want to do census, they say it's wasting money. But you are quoting Moses using census figure. And now says, from now till December 31st, I pray none shall be missing your family in Jesus' mighty name. The God consult you. So people that are due to translate, they shouldn't translate. So people that some people are missing, so it's because you didn't declare over them. I would have called this foolishness, but because it's directed to you from somebody else, it degraded to witchcraft. So this is pure witchcraft. I hope we are good with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, it says, a person's most beautiful asset is not a head full of knowledge, but a heart full of love, and ear ready to listen, and a hand willing to help others. How we can see this, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Our social media is good.
Yes.
Now, look at this. The first statement used the word singular asset. Okay? If the statement has stopped at love, okay, which is an entity, a heart full of love. You get it? I might have passed this, okay, for the truth. But you see, even three characters, attributes were added together and called one. You see, heart full of love, and you see that? Here ready to listen, and he had willing to help others. These 3 are called assets. So what is the error? What is the poison in a head full of knowledge? Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Even though wisdom is not the highest, okay, in the children of light, offspring of light. Anytime we use our faith freely and willingly in what is the truth, okay? But it's still a product of light. Why would God tell us, you understand, in Matthew chapter 10, verse 6, that we should be smart first before being nice? I hope that somebody is getting me. So, because of what I've just explained, that the other three attributes are added together as one as asset, is suggesting that a head full of knowledge is not an asset, especially with the word not here. A person's most beautiful asset is not. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Frankly,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you this, people of God, this is the kind of thing that promotes foolishness among the flock, among women. This is what makes people to think being nice but stupid is okay. It's not okay. You are born to be nice and smart. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, as powerful as this is, that not a head full of knowledge. Now downgrades this wonderful quote to a bit. If the word were added, okay, that a person's most spiritual is not just. If the word just was after not just a head full of knowledge, but with, and which is now added after but, of course, that's 100% truth. But to leave it like this, we suggest that you shouldn't be using your brain. That it's okay to be foolish because you are nice. So this becomes sadly a bit. I hope we are good, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the final assignment today, it says jealous people don't necessarily want what you got. They just don't want you to have it. Now let me say something here, okay? English language English language sometimes, being a modern language, uses some words interchangeably. I hope you are following the people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like this word here, with when you read it, you know that the word envy is what is supposed to be used there. Envious people, okay? Because jealousy has a positive side to it. Though many people, when they want to say somebody is jealous, they actually mean the person is envious. Jealousy is actually a positive attribute. Jealousy is caringness because you have faith in someone. I'm not sure you are getting. But this quote itself is not now even about envy. Envious people, okay, they are the ones that want what you have. That's why they are envious. People that they don't want you to have that thing at all are called narcissists. What is that thing they are called? Narcissists. Which is what this disaster that people have turned marriage into, which God never designed marriage to be, make an average husband figure a narcissist. That is why they don't want a woman to have freedom. She must not have money. She must not be richer than them. That is narcissism, and that is evil. It's worse than envy. I hope you are getting the people of God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this quote itself, the wrong word is used, okay, in jealous. It should be envious. But then it's not even envy, it should be narcissist. An average pastor too, they are narcissists. They cannot stand God's flock following them to be more prosperous than them. Cannot stand it. I always tell people, even if people walk away, I tell my colleagues, let them be their God's flock. If you are meant to be their pastor and they walk away, leave them. Then we see the result of their action. But you say because people will walk away, you don't want them to prosper, you don't want them to know who they are in Christ. It's evil. So jealousy is okay. Being envious is bad, but being a narcissist is evil. I just can't answer it without editing it, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
I hope we are good with this, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's move on now to our quotes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Please, sir, I have a question on one of the quotes from last Sunday. That's adult completeness truth.
Okay.
That talks about what is in my control and what is out of my control.
Okay.
So, under what is out of my control, the future was put there. So
Okay.
I was thinking that shouldn't the future be in my control, considering that what I do today determines the future?
I thought I corrected it there and then. I corrected it. I brought that out. I said because the result of your action, which is your future, is determined by what. And I corrected it. Go back and listen to that. I corrected there and then, and I said it shouldn't be part of what is out of your control. That it should be part of what is your control. Because I said tomorrow result, they are female entity, and it's male that determines the female entity in our lives. Okay? Is that okay, please?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. The first quote today, of course, what are these quotes again? They are statements of truth from other sources so that we'll be able to understand that life is about the truth. You understand? Not necessarily the source of the truth. That's why God can use anybody. He even use Satan to accomplish salvation. Do you understand? Which is the reason why, because God has used somebody for you, doesn't mean because the person is no longer a person of truth, you stay put. See, over these 39 years, are you with me? I've had God's flock under my shepherdship that God used them to save my life. And today I'm no longer their pastor. Some of them don't even want to hear my name. So how do you put that? You can only maintain your sanity when you understand that it's about the truth being your God, not necessarily the sources. I hope we are good, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and that's the purpose of this course, so that we'll be able to see the truth, no matter the source of the truth, wherever it is. Which is why we always precede this code with the assignment, so that we know that it's the truth, okay? Not a fact, not courtesy, not a myth, not foolishness, not witchcraft, not a lie, and not a bait. I hope we are good, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The first one, I call it adult compromise truth. And it says, if you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. And it's true. That is why you have not yet gotten it as an adult. If what motivates you is people's appraisal or attack, because people embrace what you are doing, you're moving up. People go against you, back off. No, you can't make it that way. Because there will always be somebody that no matter the truthfulness you're doing, they will not connect. And there will be people who will send you to your early grave in your error. For they'll be appraising the error, the disaster you are doing. So I hope you understand the integrity of this quote, please.
Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it adult empowerment truth. And this is from Prophet Muhammad. You see it in the Quran. The truth is everywhere. This is the reason why you see a lot of men are beasts. So they should never have moved near one who has a greater grace. Because they brought them up with desperation to control a woman. Right from infancy. See, girls are already. Day before yesterday, I saw an awesome view. This little girl and younger brother, they were coming from school. In fact, this is one of the reasons some parents can never do well because of what they take their children. They made the children to literally fend for themselves. That's why they keep on getting poorer. They think somebody is considered. No, it's their irresponsibility. Must you bring these children? And have you noticed that it's these people that are struggling to have a good living standard that keep on having so many children? Have you not noticed? Yes. They will not be disturbing people who have just one, which is what God recommended. Even if they are your family member and you too that just have one, live by your own faith. Don't let somebody be irresponsible, whether family or friend or neighbor, destroy your testimony. So, in every traffic, this little girl, and to show you the awesomeness of the female entity, the way she held on to her junior brother, watching over him at a watching on a very tiny ledge of a gutter, deep gutter. And you can see typical boys. It was harmful of her to hold her younger brother. And those kind of people will say they have a mother. And it's a man that impregnates such, and he said he's going to heaven. And to make it was such a girl will grow up. Somebody that's so awesome at maybe age 6 or 7 to take care of the younger brother that way. That he came to this life to serve. Somebody that the younger brother said mind and brain is more superior than in the man. It's sad. And it's the same thing you see in churches, in government. Most of what people you call pastors today are hungry. They don't have a life. They will not say they receive a call because they know they are dealing with a society that is so religious, they don't ask questions. And that's why they are power drunk. And many people, when you even see people who believe that leadership is about service, those are the people they will take advantage of. Because they are used to being. There are no countless of men, phylogenies over the years. They are only saying that the woman said no to them. The woman they caught as white figure just because they caught her. The woman couldn't handle it. Being treated with honor. Because they have been damaged that a man must enslave them. And as a pastor, I face that. The challenge I have with God's flock is because I set the example, come to their level. What they cannot say to their spouses, husband or wife, what they cannot say to their parents or adult children, what they cannot say to their friends, what they cannot say to their bosses or staff. They will say it to me, they will tell me off. Just because people that have power are people that are desperate for it. They do everything for power. That's why you see the encouragement and admonition from the prophet. It will be disastrous. You don't give power to anybody that shows desperation. That's why an average man shouldn't marry. An average pastor should not pastor. You should go and work as a receptionist in an hotel. So that their brain will come down. Their ego will come down. Ego is too much in marriage and on pulpit. I hope we are good people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See the next one, please. I call this adult enmity truth. We had something like this during the week that says that the most dangerous person is somebody that doesn't know, but he's not going to let you go. This one too is similar. Say our most dangerous enemy is the one that looks like us, but isn't one of us. And it's true. It's true. That's why you, the adult, be circumspect. Use your sound mind. Evaluate every relationship without sentiment. And that's why it can never be God. Anything that says you cannot get away from another adult human, even when their choice, free will choice, is at variance with yours. That's disaster. That's not God Almighty that created you and I. The next one, I call it adult's foolishness truth. This is the reason why using your sound mind, okay, is that only male child of light to come first before the sisters of being pure, the sisters of being content, being nice and being humble, using your sound mind. And see this, he said, it will be foolish for a well-meaning toad. You know what a toad is? Toad is like frog, but they live more in water, okay?
Yes, sir.
The way frog lives more on land. I hope I'm correct. I'm prof in the house.
Yes, sir.
Alright,
They stay more on land.
exactly. Now, he said, it will be foolish for a well-meaning toad to give a well-intentioned scorpion a ride across the lake. They will most probably both drown because the scorpion will bite the toad. That's how some people are. Very toxic. And if you don't use your sound mind, oh, they will change. He loves me. He's a pastor. Don't let this thing they will give you be the last thing you will expect because you are both gone. There are people that no matter the relationship you have with them, they are toxic. They are going to take you down. I hope we are blessed with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it adult humility truth. Of course, humility is seeing yourself the way God sees you. Okay? And if you are humble, today's update, it will be something you will readily accept. That other adults' free will choices, no matter the level, is greater than your own. And see the way this quote is saying, say never point a finger where you never lent a hand. Very true. It's actually a form of pride when you expect to reap where you have not sowed. It's just like now. You see some people, the way they made, how do I explain it? A sense of entitlement. And meanwhile, from day one, there are people that have been consistently following me. There are people that every day they communicate before every service. Not, I've been service started. No, my. Even though they know I'm surrounded with wonderful hands. They say, oh, mama, big mama is there. Our sister is there. That's what it's been known. They made sure. Because such people, if they naturally see an observation, won't I listen to them? I won't. Because they demonstrated that they have my back. But you see some people on the other side, if something happens, the way they make demand, you will think my name is Judas that killed Christ. So I hope we are blessed with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it adult perfection truth. Of course, why I choose the word perfection? Because many people don't understand the language of Christ. When Christ said, be ye perfect the way your heavenly Father is perfect. We think it means being a zombie, like a robot. No, 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 no. Perfection is when you are able to realize, admit that you have made mistake, and you get up. It's about the spirit. It's about the willingness. That's why today I can see it anywhere. The great people that surround me are people that had their meltdown. But with that same sincerity, they turn it around and did the needful. And this quote says, your mistake don't define your character. It is what you choose to do after you made the mistake that makes all the difference. And you see, I said that example too. See now, to this awesome update, I noticed that 2 lines were missing. Am I not the one that noticed the 2 lines were missing? Am I not the one that promised that, okay, I will make it possible? If I'm egoistic, I say, won't these people think I'm not serious? So we all make mistakes. And that's why anybody that tells you that you're not supposed to make mistake, that is, if you have been looking for devil, that is devil. For anybody that say throughout your life, pay for your mistake, you have been wanting to see who Satan is, that's that person. The next one, adult self-confidence truth. And this says, one who believes in himself has no need to convince others, and it's true. Think about it. It's actually because you are insecure. That's why you want people to accept you. But when you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing as the truth, just make sure you're a person of truth. But this can also lead to rebellion, by which you'll not be able to hear any correction. I hope we are blessed with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it adult self-priority truth. This is about the scriptural principle that says love your every other adult out there the way you love yourself first. Just like you can't prove that you love God if you don't love humanity. This is another proof that religion is not of God. Because every religion, none of them love humanity. Because how can a religion be saying stone somebody to death? How can the religion be saying that excommunicate somebody? Think about it. And this says you can't be enough for everyone. You can bleed yourself dry and still there will be someone who feels like it's not enough. Let them think that what matters is most is you being enough for yourself. So do that first. I hope you are seeing the good news, people of God. In fact,
Yes.
I can tell you I used to be guilty of this. And so many people took advantage of me. Even though they were up with their payday, but I didn't need to be the sacrificial lamb. And that's what you need to learn, people of God, okay? People that are nasty, they will still get their payday, but they don't have to use you on the way to their destruction. The next one, I call it adult superiority truth. And this says a superior person is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his action, which is true. If you notice, people that are shy are the ones that talk more than they do. You must hear the testimony. They are this, they are that. But people that have it, that's what this is. If another way of putting this statement of in life, that the empty barrel makes the loudest. And this is scriptural. Apostle John says, let us love, let us be nice to people in action, not in words. I hope we are good people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I love this
Yes,
next
sir.
one. This next one shows us and illustrates why Satan doesn't have permanent friend. That's why people that are yielding to Satan today, that the force in line for Satan to destroy their soul. Because Satan knows that a human being can change like this. And you too, you need to be on your guard. Because the person in your life, you see another futility error in this no divorce thing. Because there's no guarantee that the other person cannot change. Even your wife figure can be a queen today. By this evening, is already a Jezebel and refuses to change. So what do? Not destroy your life in the process. A faithful minister might choose not to be a faithful minister. So what do? You still keep on falling to your destruction. And see this statement, very true. It says someone who loves you unconditionally can also hate you unbelievably. I've seen this. I can tell you that that is true. Over the years, I've pastored people that are all, my soul is always refreshed. Because some of them, they won't wake up without waking up with me first, literally. They won't go to bed without checking on me. And today, there's nothing like that. The hatred is unbelievable. That's adult humans for you. That's a proof that we are actually God. We are actually almighty in our spheres. And that's why all of us should start taking responsibility for our free will actions. I hope this blesses us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it divine victory truth. And you can see the picture here, how the young man here is just walking, so not seeing the victories that angelic forces are fighting on his behalf over demonic forces, which is really true. And it says sometimes you don't even realize what God is doing for you. Very true. The only thing is that it's those untouchables that every goodness or mercy comes through. Okay? Before this can happen in your life, okay, a guru's hand is inside, a queen's hand is inside, a saved adult's hand is inside, a faithful minister's hand is inside, and a Jerusalem's hand is inside. But this is very true. I hope we are blessed with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it evil parenting truth. This is another sad one in the news. That's why tears well over my. I don't know what our society is becoming. This one is so evil. Do you know what this lady did? Went to go and throw away her daughter because the boy, the moron that wants to marry her, says he doesn't want to marry anybody that has a child before. Can you do that? When God says, especially you sisters, that's why some of those relationships you are standing in, you don't love your children. If you do, you walk away, not to destroy them. Because your boys will turn out to be a beast, and your girls will turn out to be a fool like you. And this is what this quote says. You see, I literally will never understand how someone can abandon their own child and continue living their life like that child doesn't exist. But some animals will never do that. Will never. I saw a post online some weeks ago. A chicken, a mother chicken, in the rain, was drenched and just to protect the chicks. So which kind of human being are you? If a hen can be more empathic than you, have a soul more than you. The next one, I call it hilarious enmity truth. And this says, when people are determined to find fault, they can even accuse a snail of overspeeding. And it's true. What this says is that you can't guarantee what the other adult's impression of you will be. That is why in our update today, don't forget, people of God, focus, okay, on that chart on the left, okay, the one you are responsible for. Even though the other ones are influences in your life, but you are not responsible for them. That's why once there's a problem caused by that one, go for the one that is higher than the problem, that is under your control. That's what today's message is teaching us. Our social media is on the same page. Okay. The next one, I call it hilarious sound mind truth. And let me tell you, once you choose to have a sound mind, either as a guru or a queen, okay, or a faithful minister, this will be your lot, one time or the other. And it says it's weird being called a conspiracy theorist for simply displaying some degree of common sense. That is true. Tell you sisters, especially God's flock, they're ready to be dealt with and called names for just standing for the truth. The next one, I call it intelligence mastery truth. And I love it. This is very true, people of God. See this. Say, never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the body. That's what Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, we are all destroyed for lack of knowledge. Therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent. That's the truth. In fact, once you are intelligent, religion will drop off you. The first thing you will divorce is religion, culture, tradition. I hope we are blessed with this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one says, according to life's lessons truth. And it says, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Very true. Very true. But you see, if you are religious and put everything in either God's hand or enemy's hand or other people's hand or angels' hand, you will never learn. But when you realize that you are an adult and it's your faith that determines what will manifest in your life, then you follow Christ's instruction, which says, watch what you hear, watch what you embrace, watch what you believe, watch what you cherish, and you watch what you freely do. The next one, I call it life's poison truth. And this is also scriptural. Remember in Romans chapter 8, Apostle Paul told the Romans, which is telling every one of us, that to be spiritually minded is life and peace, but to be carnally minded is disaster. And see this. It says anything that makes you weak, physically, intellectually, or spiritually, reject as poison. That is true. That's why you have a lot of people today. They started being very awesome, magnificent, exceptional people. But today there is shadow of themselves. So they allow things you shouldn't think about, things you shouldn't believe, things you shouldn't cherish or treasure to be what they think about, what they believe, and what they treasure, and it changed them. This is another hilarious one, but it's a wisdom for you, brothers. And I'm sure if you're a philogynist, using your sound mind, you will naturally do this. And it says, instead of a 3 million naira wedding, use 500,000 to do the wedding, and the rest, 2.5 million naira, to buy a car for your wife, or use it to get her a business afterwards. And it's true. And let me tell you this about men. If you really value that woman, even if it's weddings you use for, you will give her the whole of the 3 million and put it on the table. That's meant for you. That's what I always tell. That is the real vegetable, a man's emotion. That's why if a man's emotion is not locked at you, cook all the vegetable in this world. He will eat it, he digest it, and eliminate the waste. Nothing will happen. The same thing. That's the powder. That's the love charm. It's because the woman is already locked at you. Even if you put chalk on your face, it will still be connected to you. I hope you are blessed with this place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just like when you follow somebody as a pastor, you can't have issues with somebody you follow as your pastor. Whether the person is your pastor or not, no matter what it is. The next one, I call it sad reflection truth. You see, when we're doing one of the assignments about what is past or future, this is one of it. Some things can be your past. And this says, my biggest regrets in life are being too damn nice, apologizing when I didn't do anything wrong, and making unworthy people a priority. Very true. Remember what we learned today. Why the person will get? Because other people's choices, okay? Free will choices are greater than your own choices. That's why. I hope this bless us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You now understand why I always use the word hope, because I can't determine whether it will bless you. Even if it's meant to bless you, without your faith, it can't bless you. The next one, I call it sad relationship truth. And this says, the hardest pill I swallowed was realizing I meant nothing to people that meant a lot to me. Very true. You now see the problem with any form of culture, custom, doctrine that says you must not leave somebody else, despite whatever you mean to them. When this has been proven, that because people mean a lot to you doesn't mean you mean something to them. I love this one because this it hard are the greatest weapon of Satan, which is religion. So, but they will not tell you can't marry somebody because blessed. Let me tell you, there is no religion that you don't have a queen. And marriage is about a phylogenies marrying a queen. So what says it can't be different religion? Just like can be different races or different tribes. Let's start using our brain, people of God. And this says, don't let religious dogma turn you into a fossil. Don't quickly. No. Yeah. I hope the brethren on the centers can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Just join, please. Just join. And can the brethren in centers, can you see what I'm sharing on the screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Hard religion truth.
Okay. Please work with them to join. So I believe we are blessed with this, please.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Of course, a fossil is things that have died and decayed. And this is what religion will turn any of us into. And be dead and extinct. Living your life for other people, doing things that will make you deader. If there's an English like that. The next one, I call it sad stagnancy truth. Many of us we think we are making progress, but we're actually stagnant. And see this. He said you keep meeting the same person in different bodies until you learn the lesson. That is why, as a man, as a woman, as a flock, as a pastor, if you don't learn this lesson of using your sound mind, as a man, you might divorce, you might remarry, it will be the same non-coin you will keep on connecting with. So you see the same person, the body is just what is different. As a woman, you didn't learn this lesson of being a queen. It will still be the same men that you are not their wife, you keep on agreeing for. And if you're a pastor, if you don't learn this lesson, as a faithful minister, you keep on pastoring people that you are not their pastor, or you won't be a faithful minister. And as a flock, without learning this principle of using your sound mind first, you will keep on following unfaithful ministers or turning your back on faithful ones, no matter the identity of the ministry. I believe this blesses us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one I call it smart governance truth. And there's a lot of truth here. Because when you look at the governance of this world, this is basically the problem. And this says, maybe if we underpay politicians and overpay teachers, there will be smarter people and less stupid laws. Very true. Very, very true. The next one, I call it the alignment in truth. And this code says, any loss you experience for speaking the truth is not a loss, it is alignment, which is true. It is deep calling unto deep. That's why when a faithful minister like this, there are people who will fall away, just like they stop following Christ. If a flock too, that truth is your God, there are ministers you will divorce as your pastor. If you're a man that's a philogynist, a person of truth, there are women that you will stop cutting as your wife figure, or you never cut as your wife figure. And if you're a woman, a queen, there are men you will never agree because they are not philogynists, not to talk of you being their wife figure. I hope this blesses us. A very good one, mega one.
Yes, sir.
Just like businesses too. When you have sound mind, there are people you will stop working for. If you're a person, there are people you will stop employing. You will fire immediately. The next one, I call it awesomeness of truth. And it says, ignorance and superstitiousness makes a man run into a ditch without really being pursued on his truth. Embrace the truth and be set free. Work on yourself. Very true. Not something that prayer will do. You are the one that have to do it. As a man, as a woman, as a flock, and as a pastor. I hope we are blessed with this.
Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it the consequences of truth. And this is a man of faith that his life has been cut short for speaking a particular truth about race. He said the truth can cost you your life. That's why so many people are afraid to speak it. Very true. Especially my colleague. That's why every day the number of faithful ministers out there are reducing. So there are people who will pull their support away because you are speaking the truth. There are people who will do everything in their relationship with you just because a person of the truth. And when you are a faithful flock, the same thing will happen. That unfaithful minister will not want to let you go. Ditto, if you're a man, you discover that your wife figure is not a queen, she's not ready to be a queen, will not let you go. I want to destroy you, which is like all those sad stories we are hearing lately. And the reverse too, which is even more common. When the woman discovers that they are not the man's wife, because they are person of truth, can cost them their life. Because the man will say, either me or no one. And let me tell you, it's worth it. Because it doesn't end here just because of her body. The next one, I call it the daringness in truth. It says, in a time of deception, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And it's true. Because you'll be like a lone voice out there. That's why sometimes you see some of the messages I preach. It's like uncommon. It's a lonely road. The same thing when you're a faithful flock, when you're a queen, when you're a philogynist. Don't count on having many support. The next one, I call it the enmity of truth. This is very true. Say the world is so much in love with lies that the truth now feels like it, and it's true. You see, a lot of times, when you tell people the truth, they turn it like you hate them. It's just because you are saying the truth. The next one, I call it the faithfulness in truth. The faithfulness in truth. And this says, when we speak, we are afraid that what will not be heard or welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it's better to speak. You see the way I keep on saying this truth. Even if I don't have. And your own sphere as a man, as a woman, saved or unsaved, flock, pastor, just do the right thing. But when you don't do, you are still in fear. So why not just people do it and face the fear? The next one, I call it the fallouts in truth. And this is very true. This says, no matter how kind, loving, meek, self-controlled, gentle you might be, most will not see your message as loving and kind, but as condemning, as judgmental, as legalistic, hypocritical. And most will hate you for it. The preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. And you see the scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. And Luke chapter 21, verse 17, where Christ said, you shall be hated by all men for my name's sake. Which means the truth. Very, very true. The next one, I call it the fidelity of truth. And this says, in order to avoid deceptions in the last day, we must be lovers of the truth. That should be our God. You will get it right. As a minister, you'll be a faithful minister. As a flock, you'll be connected family with a faithful minister. As a man, you'll be a philogynist attracted to a queen. As a woman, you'll be a queen. Once truth is your God. This is what this is all about. This is also true, the next one, which I call the hatred for truth. This is another thing that people say that English language is a racist language, apart from being a chauvinistic language. Why should negative things be connected with the word black? But that's for another day. Now see this, he says sometimes the black sheep of the family is the only one who has the balls to tell the truth. Balls means guts. Who has the guts, the boldness, the courage to tell the truth. Very, very true. And that family can be natural family or spiritual family or ministerial family or business family or neighborhood family. Now the next one, I call it the human mind truth, and I checked it, this is very true. This is what the scripture says your thought life is what determines the kind of person that you are. Listen to this, God's people. Say your brain will constantly rewire itself to suit the information you feed into it. Do you see that no matter how much you messed up, feed your brain with the right thing. If you constantly complain, gossip, find excuses, etc., your brain will make it much easier to find things to be upset about, regardless of what is happening around you. Likewise, if you constantly search for opportunities, abundance, love, and things to be grateful for, it will make it much easier to find a reflection of those things around you. It takes practice, but over time, it's a powerful way to reshape your reality. Very true. That's why it's not what you see that determines who you are, it's how you think. See this next one, I love it so much. I call it the infallibility of truth. And see what it says. Genuine worship is a response to divine truth. And it's true. Remember what Christ said? He said, true worship who God is looking for, know that worship in spirit and in truth. Not necessarily in song or gathering in a place. It's about the truth. This gathering today, wherever you are, if it's not based on the truth, it's been a waste of time. It's better you even do something divine like sleep, sir. I hope I bless you this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it making of superheroes. Of course, of all the 13 groups of practical adult humans and adults, the best are superheroes. And who are superheroes? People have every reason, every opportunity to never be an hero, but they did everything to stay being an hero. Those are the superheroes, and this is one of them. So I respect those that tell me the truth, no matter how hard it is. That's what makes you a superhero. And you can only be like that when truth is your God. The next one, I call it the obedience in truth. And this says, we should always operate in the truth. It is not of God when we keep the truth from others because we imagine they will think one way or the other about us. The truth is always the best way to go. It brings with it God's favor at the end of the day. Very true. Because the end of a thing is greater than the beginning. Because it's a green hand. The next one, I call it the quest for truth. Quest is like hunger, desire. And this says nobody is going to pour truth in your brain. It's something you have to find out for yourself. So if you after service you have been praying, God, let this truth enter me. It's waste of word and saliva. And you have every equipment. Because Satan will fight you so that you will not connect with the truth, but it's your choice to connect or disconnect. The next one, I call it the unchangeability of truth. And this is straightforward. Say denying the truth doesn't change the fact. So if you like sisters, you came here to marry and born pikin, it doesn't change fact. You God as a woman is supposed to serve you, it doesn't change the facts. That I'm telling you, it doesn't change the facts. The next one, I call it the validity of truth. And this says, confirmation bias is tracing the fact to fit your beliefs. Critical thinking is bending your belief to fit the facts. Seeking the truth is not about validating the story in your head. It's about rigorously vetting and accepting the story that matches the reality in the world. Very true. You can see the reason why the brilliant Christians were the most prosperous of the early Christians. Why? Anytime they are pastored, they go back to study and verify for themselves, which is the standard here. That's why you find it easy to ask your questions from your critical analysis. The next one, I call it unfaithful ministers. When you see false prophets in the Bible, I've told you, it means genuinely saved and called ministers like me, but who are telling God's people the lies, who are taking advantage of God's people, who are not setting the best examples for them. I read this Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. He said, you should do what? I like this quote. It's hilarious, but very truthful. He said, the magicians of Egypt replicated and duplicated almost all the miracles performed by Moses. We have many magicians in churches today, masquerading as the servants of God. Very sad, but very true. But then, it's your choice who you are following. And finally, you have this video which I titled Women's Truth, building on the video for your study. This is a short video, and why I was really encouraged with this video is because it was sent to me by one of the great women under my shepherdship. Brothers, your ego will not like, what is it, man? It was the format I said, move it to the folder. I was in folder. Okay, for our social media brethren, because I was being told that they're finding difficult to get, but we'll see what we can do. But for those who have the link to themselves, just play this, a short video.
But did you ever stop to think about what the world would be like without men? A bunch of fat, happy women and no crime.
What the video actually said was some groups of women talking, and they asked themselves that what will the world be without men, which is a build-up of them, and they said it will be a bunch of happy, fat happy women, but there's not going to be a single crime, and it's true. So, our sisters, that will encourage you to do the needful. And brothers, the same thing. Realize the limitation of your grace and make the right decision by making a queen and a faithful minister to be your wife figure and your pastoral figure respectively. So stay blessed, people of God. Have a wonderful week. And once again, the best of month ahead, since the last service on Wednesday was the last day of November. Stay blessed once again and stay after we will all see on Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.